Hello and welcome to video 16 of the Licensing Education Series by AIC, a partner of American Senior Benefits. Please watch each video all the way through once without taking notes, and then go back and take notes. You'll find that you retain more information that way. If there are any topics you would like me to do a deeper dive into, please comment to tell me the specific information you want me to go over. Thanks for attending, and let's get started. Alright, so this video is going to go over the 12 mandatory provisions. The first provision defines what comprises the entire contract. There are 4 elements to the entire contract for health: the policy provisions, the copy of the application, riders, and any statements or amendments. If something is not included in the writing of these 4 things, it isn't part of the contract, so it's not enforceable. Agents cannot change or waive any part of the entire contract. Next is the time limit on certain defenses. This is similar to the contestability period for life insurance. This states that after a policy has been enforced for over 2 years, no misstatement made on the application can be used to void the policy or deny a claim unless the statement was fraudulent. So you can see that's different than the life contestability, because after 2 years with life, it doesn't even matter if it's fraud. But with this, if it's fraudulent, then there can be some it can be contested. It also prohibits, after 2 years, any exclusion made based on pre-existing conditions that weren't specified as exclusions in the policy. Next is grace. The grace period. The grace period is a time following the due date of a premium during which the policy stays in force, even though the premium has not been paid. The insured will need to make a premium payment before the end of the grace period to end the period and keep the policy in force. Health insurance has a grace period that depends on the frequency or the mode of payment. For weekly premiums, there's a 7-day grace period. For monthly, it's 10 days. And it's 31 days for all the other modes of premium. If it's an ACA policy that has premium tax credits, the grace period becomes 90 days. Okay, next is the reinstatement provision. If the policy ends because the insured cancels the policy or doesn't pay the premium, it is sometimes possible to reinstate it. This can happen in one of 2 ways. First, the insurer accepts a premium after the policy has ended. This automatically restarts the policy. Second, and most usual, the insurer requires the ex-insured to reapply for reinstatement. The company then has 45 days to notify the applicant as to whether the reinstatement is accepted or not. If they don't notify the applicant, it's automatically reinstated after those 45 days are up. Once it's reinstated, there's a 10-day waiting period for sickness coverage, but accident coverage begins immediately. Next is the physical examination and autopsy provision. Basically, the insurer can require at their own cost a physical if an insured is on claims, or an autopsy if the insured has died by an apparent accident, but the company wants to make sure it was an accident. An example of this might happen if an insured is receiving disability, but the company suspects that the insured is no longer disabled. They might require the insured to get an exam. Change of beneficiary. The owner of the policy can normally change the beneficiary whenever they want. The policy owner declares the beneficiary to be either revocable or changeable or irrevocable, which means the beneficiary can't be changed without the beneficiary's permission. This provision also allows the owner to surrender a policy or assign the policy to someone else without getting the beneficiary's permission. Next is the legal actions. The legal actions provision. This makes it so the insured can't sue the insurer for at least 60 days after filing the written proof of loss. That gives the insurer a chance to investigate the claim. The insured also can't sue after 3 years of providing the proof of loss. The next 5 apply to the claims on the health insurance. So next is notice of claims. This is how long the insured has to notify the insured in writing of a loss. The provision is within 20 days after the loss or as soon as reasonably possible. It may not be possible if, for example, the insured had a brain injury and was incapable of notifying the insurer in a timely manner. Second is claim forms. After the insured sends the notice of claim, the insurer now has 15 days from receipt of the notice to send the insured the claim forms. If the insurer does not send the forms, the insured needs to go ahead and send proof of loss. The supplied proof will be deemed to have met the requirements of the policy. Which brings us to the third thing, which is the proof of loss. The insured has to provide written proof of loss within 90 days of loss, unless it's a periodic payment due to continuing loss, like being on disability. In that case, it's still 90 days, but it's 90 days from the end of the previous liability period. So if the person's been on disability for years, basically every period at the end, they have 90 days to prove that they're still disabled and continue to receive payments. Again, if the insured is legally incapable of providing the proof, the 90 days doesn't apply. However, they do have to provide the proof within 1 year of the loss. The fourth is time of payment of claims. The insurer, on receipt of the proof of loss, must pay the claim immediately unless it's a periodic payment, like a monthly payment, for example, with disability claims. And then the final topic is payment of claims. Basically, this describes how money is paid out on an indemnity policy. So this one, time of payment, is on the timing of it. Payment is on the manner of it. So if the insured is still alive, the money goes to them. If the insured dies, the remaining money either goes to a beneficiary or to the estate. If the person receiving the money, either while alive as the insured or a beneficiary, is a minor, the benefits will go to any relative by blood or marriage who's deemed to be entitled to the money. Now, this cannot be more than $1,000. Optionally, the policy may be written to pay a hospital or provider instead of the insured. So those are the mandatory provisions of life insurance. The next video is going to continue this section with the optional and other provisions. Please like and subscribe so you get notified when new educational videos are released, and thanks for watching.